Hello children, how are you all? Hope you all are fine. Welcome to the teleschool programs. Now let us begin a new session of the digital class. Let us start a new digital session. So in the last class we have studied regarding reproduction in animals and its modes of reproduction. So let us recapitulate it. What is meant by reproduction? What are the modes of reproduction? So what is reproduction, children? The ability of an organism to produce the young ones of the same species is called as reproduction. There are two modes of reproduction. What are they? They are asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. So what is asexual reproduction? The process of reproduction where there is no production of gametes and no fusion of gametes is called as asexual reproduction. And we have also seen regarding about this asexual reproduction that it occurs in the lower organisms. For example, in amoeba, hydra, paramecium, etc. Amoeba undergoes asexual reproduction by a process called as binary fission, and hydra undergoes asexual reproduction by a process called as budding. We have seen all these, children, isn't it? Now, so what do you mean by sexual reproduction? The process of reproduction where there is production of gametes and as well as fusion of gametes is called as sexual reproduction. Where does it occur? It occurs mostly in the higher organisms. So here we will be discussing in detail about this sexual reproduction in this session. Are you ready, children? Yes. Let us start now. So before going to see the reproduction process, let us first discuss about fertilization. So what is fertilization? What are the types of fertilization? We will see it now. See here, children. Fertilization. The fusion of ovum and sperm is called as fertilization. Ovum is nothing but the female gamete, sperm is nothing but the male gamete. And if this process of fertilization takes place outside the female body, it is called as external fertilization. And if the fertilization takes place inside the female body, it is called as internal fertilization. So there are two types of fertilizations, that is external fertilization and internal fertilization. Let us see now what are the differences between these fertilizations. Okay, children? So here external fertilization means the fertilization which occurs outside the female body, whereas fertilization which occurs inside the female body is called as internal fertilization. In external fertilization, chances of survival of the offspring is less because that is the reason they produce more number of eggs, whereas chances of survival is more in case of internal fertilization, hence less number of eggs are produced. External fertilization occurs in frogs, fishes, starfish, etc., mostly in the aquatic animals, whereas internal fertilization takes place in cows, hens, human beings, etc. Is it clear, children? Now, we will be studying in detail about these fertilizations by taking examples. Okay, so now coming to this external fertilization, here you see, children, life cycle of a frog. Frog is an organism which undergoes the process of asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction. It undergoes sexual reproduction. How? Let us see now. So here male frog give rise to sperms, whereas female frog gives eggs. Both of them, they undergo the process of fertilization inside the water, hence it is called as external fertilization. After the external fertilization, they produce the spawn. Spawn is nothing but the fertilized eggs, which develops into embryos. Embryo develop into tadpole, that is the larval form. Now this larval form, it develops and undergoes a process called as metamorphosis and develops into the adult frog. Is it clear, children? Now we will see here the process of external fertilization in frog by seeing this video. Observe it carefully. So here, what is this? This is a frog. It is an amphibian, isn't it, children? Now, what do you mean by amphibian? It lives both in water and as well as on land. During the process of copulation, the male frog and female frog release their eggs and as well as sperms in the water. Eggs are released by the female frog and now after that they leave that space. Now the male frog, it releases the sperms. See here the sperms, children. These sperms are microscopic in nature. They are motile. They are moving from one place to another place. So they will be moving towards the eggs. Now after going towards the eggs, they will be fusing with the eggs and that process will be occurring outside the female body. Hence here this fertilization is called as external fertilization. Is it clear, children? Okay. Now here see children, this is a tadpole of a frog. It is just looking like a fish, isn't it? But is it fish? No. After growing, it develops into a frog. So there is a drastic change between the larval form and the adult form. So that process of change, what it is called as? It is called as metamorphosis. So here now see children. So what is metamorphosis? The transformation of the larva into the adult through drastic changes is called as metamorphosis. Is it clear, children? So we have seen about this external fertilization in detail. Let us now discuss regarding about the internal fertilization. What is meant by internal fertilization? Internal fertilization is nothing but the process of fertilization where the production and as well as here the fusion of gametes takes place inside the female body. This is called as internal fertilization. And we will discuss about the human reproductive system to understand this concept. Internal fertilization, that is human reproductive system. So human reproductive system, it includes two, male reproductive system and female reproductive system. So this is male reproductive system. Here you can see it includes one pair of testes, seminal ducts and penis. So these testes, they are oval shaped structures which will be releasing sperms. Sperms are nothing but the male gametes. Now these sperms, they travel into this sperm ducts or seminal ducts and they will be ejaculated outside throughout the body with the help of penis. Is it clear, children? Now what is sperm? Let us see the structure of sperm. Sperm here, it is a male gamete. Sperm, it has three parts. What are those? Head, middle piece and tail. Head consists of centrally located nucleus. This middle piece, it consists of mitochondria which provides energy for the sperm. Tail, it helps in the process of swimming. So now this sperm cell, it is motile, it is microscopic, it is having a movement and it can move from one place to another place. Head consists of a pointed structure called as acrosome. This acrosome, it helps into the penetration into the ovum. So this is nothing but the male gamete which is haploid in nature. Is it clear, children? Now we will be discussing regarding about the female reproductive system. So here what does female reproductive system consist of? What are the female gametes? We will see in detail. Okay, children. So this is female reproductive system. Here it has one pair of ovaries and it has two tubes. Those tubes are called as oviducts or fallopian tubes which will be opening into a sac-like structure. That sac-like structure is called as uterus which opens outside through an opening called as vagina. The fallopian tubules at the end, they will be having finger-like projections. They are called as fimbriae. The ovaries here, they will be producing the ovum. Now the ovum which is produced will be taken by this fallopian tubules and they will be entering into the uterus. So this is regarding about the female reproductive system, and only one ovum is produced from one ovary once in a month. So this process is called as menstrual cycle. Okay, children. Now see, children, here a video is being played to understand human reproductive system of females. One pair of ovaries and are present in the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system is present in the abdominal region. These ovaries, what they produce? They produce ovum. Now this ovum will taken by the oviducts, and how it will be taking? Here it will be taking by finger-like projections. They are called as fimbriae. Now see here children, slowly the ovum is released. It is taken by the oviducts. It is traveling in the fallopian tubules. It is entering into a sac-like structure, that is nothing but the uterus. Is it clear children? So here in the uterus, this ovum will wait for the sperm so that it can undergo the process of fertilization. If the fertilization is not done, it will be expelled outside by a process called as menstrual cycle. So we have seen a female reproductive system. The female reproductive system produces the female gametes. The female gamete is nothing but the ovum. See here children, now this is ovum. This is the structure of ovum. Ovum consists of centrally located nucleus which is present in the cytoplasm, which is surrounded by a membrane. It is also microscopic in nature and it cannot move from one place to another place. It is stationary, and here it also has one set of chromosomes, that is, it is also haploid in nature. So we have seen till now that male reproductive system produces male gametes called as sperms, and female reproductive system produces female gametes called as ovum or egg. Is it clear children? Now let us see the process of fertilization. Before going to that one, let us see the flow chart here. See children, male organisms are producing or having male reproductive organs called as testes. They produces the sperms, whereas female reproductive organs, they are having ovaries. They produces ovum, and now here sperm and ovum, they undergo the process of union, and that process is called as fertilization, that result in the formation of a diploid zygote, that is called as fertilized egg. Is it clear children? Now children, let us see a video to understand the concept of fertilization. Here see children, what are these? These are nothing but the sperms. I already said that sperms are nothing but the male gametes. After entering into the female body, they will be moving towards the egg. Egg is nothing but the female gamete. Now millions of sperms are produced. They will be entering in some more numbers into the female body, and they will be moving towards the egg. After moving towards the egg, only one sperm through its head will be penetrating inside the ovum. See children, here now it is entering slowly into the ovum. Sperm is entering slowly into the ovum. After that, it breaks its head and releases the nucleus. The nucleus which is released will be now fusing along with the nucleus of ovum. Now they result in the formation of zygote. This process is called as fertilization, and this zygote, it undergoes several cell divisions and produces more number of cells, and this ball of cells will be moving slowly in the female reproductive system, and it will be moving into the fallopian tubules. Now after moving into the fallopian tubules, slowly it moves towards the uterus, and after entering into the uterus, what it will do? It will get attached there. This process is called as implantation. What is that process called as? Implantation. So you have seen that zygote is formed, and this zygote is slowly moving, and it is attaching to the wall of uterus and undergoing the process of development in the uterus itself. So here children, we have seen how zygote is formed. Is it clear children? See here, fertilization results in the formation of zygote. Zygote divides repeatedly to give rise to ball of cells. These cells form into groups that develop into different tissues and organs. This developing structure is called as embryo. Have you understood children? Yes children, now let us see what is meant by fetus. So here what is fetus? Fetus is nothing but the embryo which is fully developed, and different parts such as hands, legs, head, eyes, ears are very clear. So that embryo is called as fetus. Is it clear children? Now what do you mean by gestation period? You know that particular period the baby will be present in the mother's womb. It has to come outside. So, the time period taken by the fetus to be present in the mother's womb is called as gestation period, or it is also called as pregnancy period. So, human beings pregnancy period or gestation period is about 9 months. Is it clear, children? See here, gestation period is a period from zygote to fully developed fetus inside the mother's womb is called as gestation period. It is also called as pregnancy period. This is about 270 to 280 days, that is nearly about 9 months. After completion of this period, a baby will be born, and that process is called as parturition. What is that process called as? Parturition. So, now here let us see how a baby is formed in this video. So, here what happened, the process of fertilization has completed. After fertilization, now the baby or the embryo, whatever it is present here, it will be undergoing several mitotic divisions, and this mitotic division result in the formation of group of cells. Now, these cells, they will be forming tissues. Now, these tissues, they will be forming different organs. You know that there are different organs present in our body, isn't it? So, here you can see a red colored bubble is being beating, isn't it so? What is that, children? It is nothing but our heart. See here how heart is beating. Now, apart from this, here in this you can see different organs such as head, eyes, ears, nose, everything will be slowly developing in this embryo, and the fully grown embryo is called as fetus. Now, fetus will be developing different organs in it such as circulatory system, which include red blood cells. See, children, here these are RBC, that is nothing but the red blood cells which help in transport of oxygen, and you can see slowly hands are also developing, and different body parts are also developing. Slowly the transformation takes place. For this complete transformation, it requires nearly about 9 months, and that period is called as gestation period, or it is also called as pregnancy period. For human beings, it is nearly about 9 months, whereas it is different in different animals. Different animals will be having different gestation periods. Here you can see now. See, children, carefully what has been formed. See here, a mass of cells or a group of cells. Slowly it has developed into a complete baby. See, is it clear, children? So, this is regarding about how the embryo formation and the baby formation occurring. Hope you have understood, children. Okay, now let us discuss regarding about IVF. What is meant by IVF? Children, some of the women cannot give birth to babies, isn't it so? So, then for them, why they cannot give the birth to babies? Because the reason may be their oviducts may be blocked. Due to this, the sperms cannot enter into the female body, and some other reasons, some hormonal problems may be there, due to which they cannot give birth to babies. For them, a type of fertilization has been developed that is called as IVF, that is in vitro fertilization. Let us see in detail what is meant by in vitro fertilization. See, children, here IVF, that is in vitro fertilization, it is the fertilization which occurs outside the body. The zygote which is allowed to develop, it will be for a week, and then it is placed in the mother's uterus. Babies born through this technique, they are called as test tube babies. This term is actually misleading because babies cannot grow in the test tubes. Complete development of the baby takes place in the mother's uterus, and the baby is born just like any other baby. Is it clear, children? To understand this concept very clearly, now let us see a video how IVF process takes place. See, children, here the ovum which is being produced will be taken out with the help of some machines and some small instruments. They take the ovum from the female body, and over that ovum they will be putting some sperms which are healthy, and that process will be occurring outside in a test tube, not in the female body. So, inside that one they undergo the process of fertilization, and this fertilization here, the fertilized egg now it slowly entered into the mother's womb, and the development of this baby will be occurring in the mother's womb, not in the test tube. Fertilization will be occurring in the test tube, but the baby development will be occurring in the mother's womb. So, many will be thinking that the fertilization is occurring in the test tube, so the baby will be growing in the test tube, but it is wrong. The babies cannot grow in the test tube. Only the process of fertilization occurs in the test tube, and now the fertilized egg which is formed, it is inserted again into the mother's womb, and the complete baby development takes place in the mother's womb, and it will be born as if like the normal babies. So, this is regarding about in vitro fertilization. These babies are also called as test tube babies. Is it clear, children? Have you understood the concept of IVF? So, God has allowed us to make this type of fertilization. So, many doctors have worked over it so that they can give happiness to the parents, those who don't have the babies. Is it clear, children? Now, children, let us see here. What do you mean by unisexual organisms and bisexual organisms? So, what are unisexual organisms? See here. Unisexual organisms, animals that have only one sex organ, either it is male or female. That means they may have only male reproductive system or female reproductive system. They are called as unisexual organisms. Examples are cockroach, hen, human being, etc. They are called as male organisms or female organisms. Is it clear, children? Now, what do you mean by bisexual organisms? Some of the organisms are there which will be having both sexes in them. That is, they will be having testes as male reproductive system and ovaries as the female reproductive system. Such organisms which are having both sexes, they are called as bisexual organisms. Bisexual organisms, that is nothing but some animals like earthworms, they don't have male and as well as we cannot call them as female. They carry both male and female reproductive organs. Such animals are called as bisexual animals. These bisexual animals are also called as hermaphrodites. What they are called as? Hermaphrodites. Examples are earthworms, snails, slugs, etc. Is it clear, children? Have you understood now? Unisexual organisms and bisexual organisms. The same thing you have studied in your 7th standard also. We studied about unisexual flowers and bisexual flowers. In the same manner, in animals also, like this they are present. Is it clear, children? Now, let us see about the next concept, what is meant by cloning. So, have you heard this word any time? So, what is cloning? Cloning, it is the production of an exact copy of a cell, any other living part or a complete organism. Cloning of an animal was done for the first time by a scientist named as Ian Wilmut and his colleagues, where it has been done at the Roslin Institute in Edinburgh in Scotland. So, they have carried out this process and successfully they cloned a sheep named as Dolly. Dolly was the first cloned sheep, and this was produced or developed in the year 1996. And this Dolly, how it has been developed, we will see it in detail now. See, children, here you can see in this slide Ian Wilmut with Dolly. So, he is the man Ian Wilmut, and this Dolly is the first successfully cloned animal till now. Is it clear, children? We will see now a video to understand the concept of this cloning. Now, children, let us see how the process of cloning has been done. So, the parents of this Dolly are Scottish Blackface and as well as Finn Dorset Eve. So, in this process, what they have done is, from the Finn Dorset Eve sheep, they took the mammary gland and nucleus was removed, and that nucleus was injected into the egg of Scottish Blackface Eve. From the egg, they have removed that nucleus and they have injected the mammary gland nucleus in that. Now, after that, what happened? The fertilized egg which is formed, which is having the nucleus of Finn Dorset sheep and egg of Scottish blackface Eve was inserted once again into the Scottish blackface Eve. Now the baby is born. Now baby, it just look like Finn Dorset sheep. It doesn't look like black Scottish face. Though the black Scottish face has given the birth to the organism, it doesn't resemble that one. So here this process of fertilization, see here, this is the manipulator children, with the help of which the nucleus is slowly removed and it is inserted. Is it clear, children? I want to say here clearly, listen once here. Scottish black has given birth to the baby, but it resembles like Finn Dorset sheep. Why? Because the nucleus of Finn Dorset sheep has been inserted into the ovum of this blackish Scottish face Eve. Is it clear, children? So here in this, do you see anywhere the fusion of gametes? Any male organism is required? No male organism is there, isn't it so? So this is a one type of asexual reproduction where there is no involvement of male organism. Two female organisms has given birth to the baby. So this process is called as cloning, and the dolly is the first organism which has been developed with the process of cloning. After that, so scientists have tried to develop so many clones, but they haven't been successful. Either the process of fertilization has been not perfect, or the baby which has been born, it died immediately due to so many abnormalities. So scientists are still working over this cloning process. Is it clear, children? Have you understood what is the process of cloning? So till now we have seen how the process of human reproduction takes place, and we have also seen how the process of fertilization occurs, how the baby borns, and we have also seen how the process of in vitro fertilization occurs, and we have also seen regarding about cloning. Let us recapitulate all these things in what we have learned. What we have learned: human male reproductive organs are testis, seminal ducts and penis. Human female reproductive organs are ovaries, oviducts and uterus. Male gametes are sperms, female gametes are ovum or eggs. The union of male and female gametes is called as fertilization, and there are two types of fertilizations are there. If the fertilization takes place outside the female body, it is called as external fertilization. Where does it occur, children? It occurs in the aquatic animals. If the fertilization takes place inside the female body, it is called as internal fertilization. And next, IVF, that is in vitro fertilization, is also external fertilization because the fertilization occurs outside, not in the female body. Now what is cloning? The production of exact copy of a cell, any other organism or any other part is called as cloning process. Is it clear, children? Have you understood the concept of sexual reproduction? Now I will assign you some work. You have to do that one so that you can improve your learning. So improve your learning by doing these activities or doing these works. So first one is draw the labeled diagram of life cycle of frog. Draw the diagram, label it parts and draw it neatly. Is it, children? Next, explain the process of fertilization in human beings. Whether it is internal or external, you explain it in detail. Differentiate unisexual organisms and bisexual organisms. The last one is explain the process of cloning. Hope you will be doing these works, children. So here we will be meeting in the next digital class. Thank you.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం. ఈనాటి డిజిటల్ తరగతులకు మీ అందరికీ స్వాగతం, సుస్వాగతం. నేటి డిజిటల్ తరగతిలో భాగంగా 10వ తరగతి సాంఘిక శాస్త్రంలోని స్వతంత్ర భారతదేశం మొదటి 30 సంవత్సరాలు 1947 నుండి 1977 వరకు అనే పాఠ్యాంశంలో ఉన్న విషయాల గురించి చర్చించుకుందాం. పిల్లలు, మనకు స్వాతంత్రం ఎప్పుడు లభించిందో తెలుసా మీకు? చెప్పండి. ఆగస్టు 15, 1947లో కదా. మరి స్వాతంత్రం రావడానికి మన దేశ నాయకులు ఎన్ని పోరాటాలు చేశారో తెలుసా మీకు? ఎన్నోసార్లు జైళ్ళలోకి వెళ్ళారు, లాఠీ దెబ్బలు తిన్నారు. అంతేకాకుండా కొంతమంది నాయకులు తమ ప్రాణాలను కూడా త్యాగం చేశారు. బ్రిటిష్ వాళ్ళ నుండి మనకు స్వాతంత్రం లభించింది అంటే మనల్ని మనమే పరిపాలించుకునే సమయం ఆసన్నమైంది కదా. భారతదేశంలో అనేక మతాలు, ప్రాంతీయ విభేదాలు, భాషలు మరియు కులాలు, విభిన్న సంస్కృతులతో కూడినటువంటి పరిస్థితులు మనకు కనిపిస్తాయి. ఇలాంటి ఉపఖండ పరిస్థితులు ఉన్నటువంటి భారతదేశాన్ని ప్రజాస్వామికంగా పరిపాలన చేయడం అనేటువంటిది సామాన్య విషయం కాదు. ఎన్నో సమస్యలతో కూడినటువంటి అంశం ఇది. రాజ్యాంగ రచనా కమిటీ అధ్యక్షుడైన అంబేద్కర్ ఆనాడే ఒక విషయాన్ని చెప్పారు. అదేమిటనంటే 1950 జనవరి 26న మనం వైరుధ్యాలతో కూడిన జీవనంలోకి ప్రవేశించబోతున్నాం. రాజకీయాల్లో సమానత్వం ఉంటుంది, కానీ సామాజిక ఆర్థిక అంశాల్లో అసమానత్వం ఉంటుంది. రాజకీయాలలో ఒక వ్యక్తి ఒక ఓటు, ఒక ఓటు ఒక విలువ అన్న సూత్రాన్ని గుర్తించబోతున్నాం. అయితే సామాజిక ఆర్థిక జీవితంలో మనకున్న